Chapter 6, Clinical Data Management, Data Validation. What is data validation? Data validation is a systematic process in clinical data management that ensures all clinical trial data are accurate, complete, consistent, logical, and reliable before they are used for statistical analysis. Data entered into the electronic data capture (EDC) system undergoes multiple validation checks to identify errors, discrepancies, or missing information. The primary objective is to ensure that the study database reflects the true clinical condition of every participant. Why is data validation important? Clinical trial decisions directly affect patient safety and the approval of new medicines. Incorrect or incomplete data can lead to inaccurate study conclusions, delayed regulatory submissions, or even rejection of a clinical trial. Therefore, data validation ensures that every observation, laboratory result, vital sign, medication record, and adverse event is correctly documented according to the study protocol and regulatory guidelines. Validation rules. Validation is performed using predefined edit checks programmed into the electronic data capture system. These rules automatically identify data that appear incorrect or inconsistent. Examples include missing mandatory fields, dates entered in the wrong format, participant age outside the study criteria, laboratory values beyond acceptable ranges, duplicate records, conflicting information between different forms, and impossible values such as a diastolic blood pressure greater than the systolic blood pressure. Manual data review. Not every issue can be detected automatically. Clinical data managers also perform manual reviews to identify complex inconsistencies that require human judgment. They examine trends across multiple visits, compare related data fields, review protocol deviations, verify medical histories, evaluate adverse events, and ensure that all collected information is clinically meaningful. Query management. When a discrepancy is identified, a data query is generated within the electronic data capture system. The query is sent to the clinical trial site for clarification. Investigators or study coordinators review the participants' original source documents, provide explanations, correct incorrect entries if necessary, and respond to the query. Clinical data managers then review the response and either close the query or raise a follow-up query if additional clarification is required. Source data verification and validation. Although source data verification is primarily performed by clinical research associates, during monitoring visits, validated clinical data often depend on accurate source documentation. Information entered into the electronic data capture system should match hospital records, laboratory reports, imaging reports, physician notes, electrocardiograms, and other original medical documents. Any discrepancy must be investigated and resolved. Types of validation checks. Several validation methods are used during a clinical trial. These include missing data checks, range checks, consistency checks, logical checks, protocol compliance checks, date and time validations, duplicate record detection, laboratory data validation, medication review, adverse event consistency, and serious adverse event reconciliation. Role of the clinical data manager. Clinical data managers design validation plans, develop edit check specifications, review discrepancies, coordinate with study sites, monitor query resolution, perform data cleaning activities, and ensure that the study database meets regulatory standards before database lock. They work closely with clinical research associates, biostatisticians, medical monitors, programmers, and investigators throughout the study. Database lock. Once all validation activities are completed and all queries have been resolved, the database is locked. After database lock, no further changes can be made unless a formal unlock procedure is approved and documented. The locked database is then transferred for statistical analysis, preparation of the clinical study report, and submission to regulatory authorities. Conclusion. Data validation is one of the most critical quality assurance processes in clinical data management. It combines automated edit checks, manual review, query management, and regulatory compliance to ensure that clinical trial data are accurate, complete, and scientifically reliable. Subscribe and follow BioEnigma x Jivesh for detailed explanations on clinical data management, clinical research, zoology, biotechnology, and life science topics.